This is chapter 113, Surah Al-Falaq. So, chapter is called Daybreak in English. And I'll read the chapter first and then I'll read the explanation, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the rising dawn. مِن شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. From the harm and mischief of what He has created. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ. From the harm and mischief in the night when darkness grows intense. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. From the harm and mischief of those who blow upon knots. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ. And from the harm and mischief of the envier when he envies. Say, I seek refuge, that is, I turn to and seek protection with the Lord of the rising dawn, that is, the one who causes dawn to break. From the harm and mischief of what He has created, this includes all those whom Allah has created, humans, jinn, and animals. One must seek refuge with their creator from any harm or mischief that there may be in them. Then he describes in specific terms what he has mentioned in general terms, as he says, from harm and mischief in the night when darkness grows intense. That is, from the harm and evil of what may happen in the night when the darkness of night covers the earth and many evil spirits and harmful animals move about. From the harm and mischief of those who blow upon knots. That is, from the harm and mischief of witches who perform their witchcraft by blowing on knots that they tie for the purpose of casting spells. And from the harm and mischief of the envier when he envies. The envier is the one who would like the blessing to be taken away from the one whom he envies. So he strives to cause it to be taken away by whatever means he can. Therefore, there is a need to seek refuge with Allah from His harm and mischief and to foil His plan. The word translated here as envier also includes the one who puts the evil eye on others, because the evil eye only emanates from an envier who is evil in nature. This surah, surah means chapter, so this chapter refers to seeking refuge with Allah from all kinds of evil and harm in both general and specific terms. It indicates that magic or witchcraft is something real, the harm of which is to be feared, so one should seek refuge with Allah from it and from those who practice it. Okay, so that was the end of this bit of the book. Alright, so let's look at this more closely. So Allah says, say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the rising dawn. So Allah commands us, and He commands the Prophet, peace be upon him, as well. It's like He's saying, O Muhammad, say, O Muhammad, you say yourself, O Muhammad, these things to seek refuge in me and all of that, and tell the people, say this, teach this to the people. And also Allah tells us to say this. So Faisal, O Faisal, say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the rising dawn. So He's the Lord of the rising dawn. And what should we seek refuge in from? Like refuge in Him from, right? He said the first thing, from the harm and mischief of what He has created. This is very general, so everything. As the As-Sa'di, so the scholar who has written this book, he said humans, jinnis, and animals. That's what he said. So, min sharri ma khalaq. Min sharri ma khalaq means of the evil of literally everything that Allah has created. Okay? Or from the harm and mischief of what He has created. Everything. Even ourselves, by the way. So, because we can be harmful to ourselves. So, when I say I seek refuge in Allah from the harm and mischief of what He has created. That includes me as well. So I'm seeking refuge in Allah from the harm that I could cause myself, which is quite interesting, something that I learned quite recently. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ. So from the harm and mischief in the night when darkness grows intense. So in the night, as the scholar said, a lot of bad things can happen. The evil spirits and the animals, like dangerous animals, can move about. So a lot of things that can happen in the darkness, especially here in London, for example, where I'm living. And at night, it can be quite dangerous. So you seek refuge in Allah from the things that happen when the darkness of the night grows intense. And I want to focus on these two verses that I'm going to mention now, because a lot of people don't believe in these things anymore. I think it's quite important to actually bring your attention to them. From the harm and mischief of those who blow upon knots. So this is Allah talking about witchcraft, right? Witchcraft / black magic. So witches, and they don't have to be female, by the way. So they're, I don't think you call a male like sorcerer or whatever a witch, I guess. In Arabic, we call them sahir, sahira. So sahir is a male person who does this, and sahir is a female. So anyone who practices witchcraft, they are called a sahir, right? And they engage in this ritual where they blow upon knots. They do something, I don't know if should do is kind of like people might think it's disgusting, but like they don't like blow like that. They do like they're kind of like spitting, but it's not like really spitting. Like they kind of like very light spitting, I suppose. They do something like that on these knots that they tie to cause people harm. And witchcraft is obviously highly linked to jinnis and the devils. Like jinnis, we described what they are in the previous chapter. And again, I'm not a scholar, so I don't like explain it in very insane detail, but that's what this is my limited knowledge. But they're essentially creatures that we can't see, and they're living here with us. They have free will. They can be good or they can be bad. When they're bad, they're called devils, demons. And they help humans do these rituals and harm people, right? A lot of people these days, they call themselves like spiritual, and some of them are like they low-key practice witchcraft essentially. So and some people say it straight up, like they just say like, oh, I actually practice witchcraft, like I'm actually a witch, which is kind of scary, to be honest. I have talked to someone like that, and remember, they told me that they actually just practice it straight up. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just get away from you then, because this is quite dangerous. And there are so many different types of things that you can do to people with black magic. You can, and Allah talks about this in the Quran, by the way, in different chapters, but it can cause people harm, like make married couples fight and break up and cause divorce, make people unable to get, like women unable to get pregnant, and it may be even men like becoming sterile, I guess is the word. And things like causing people to go crazy, causing people to even like change their sexuality. It's really messy. I'm not very knowledgeable in this, but I have learned a bit about it over the years by reading and watching videos and stuff, because learning these things is quite important to protect yourself and your family and loved ones. And people think that this is like some just superstitious stuff that people practice in like third world countries or something like that. No, this is quite prevalent in all countries and even in the West as well. And people practice it, but the problem is when you're not aware of it, you can fall prey to it and not even know what's going on, because you have no idea. If you don't know your opponent, if you don't know your enemy, how are you supposed to fight it? So raising awareness about this is one of my passions, actually, and so that I'm taking my chance now to talk about it. And inshallah, I'll make maybe a series in the future and talk about witchcraft and black magic and things like that. So just to summarize, witchcraft is quite prevalent all over the world. People deal with demons and devils to cause people harm. Again, as I said, it can make people go crazy with it, and it can make people get divorces, not get pregnant. A lot of miscarriages can happen because of it. Possessions, demonic possessions, again, sexuality, even yeah, it's just so messy. You can mess with people's sexuality, as I said, even their power, their strength, their looks, and maybe even the point of murder as well and death. So it's quite dark, it's quite bad. That's why Allah says, "Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the rising dawn from these things," and one of them is witchcraft. So from the people, and not only humans, even jinns who blow upon knots. So they tie these knots that cause harm to people through witchcraft. And the next one is, "and from the harm and mischief of the envier when he envies." So it says he, but it's either he or she. But I guess this is just a translational thing. Because in Arabic it says "وَمِشَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ." There's literally, like, there's no he or she. It's quite gender neutral. Um, so yeah, it's just a translational thing. So again, a person who envies can be a man or can be a woman. It doesn't matter. But the point is, this is this is relating to the evil eye. So the evil eye is the concept that if a person likes something, and the scholar did explain it when I was reading. When you like something, let's say person X likes something about you. Let's say you're quite, I don't know, good looking. Let's say there's something about you that's quite attractive, looks wise. So person X likes that, and they don't mention Allah's name when they look at you, and they're just like, wow, whatever. Then suddenly out of the blue you get these weird symptoms. Your hair start falling out. Your hair starts falling out, and then I don't know, you start getting acne. Your eyesight might get damaged, whatever. You might hurt yourself. You might, I don't know, get like some problems with your teeth, whatever. Like your beauty starts to get deteriorate essentially, and that's the effect of the evil eye on you. So that's kind of a harm that, not kind of, that it is harm that Allah asks us to seek refuge in from, right? And sometimes it can be even malicious. So that person actually wants you to lose your beauty because, they actually hate you and they don't want you to have it because they don't have it. So they're quite envious, like in a malicious way, not in a like in awe way, like, oh wow, like that the person is so attractive, but like I'm kind of like good-hearted about it. No, like some people are actually quite like malicious about it. Both can cause harm, but the latter is worse, I believe. So like I genuinely want that person to lose that. Like I'm a person who goes to the gym. I might see someone who's like quite strong and be like, oh, like I wish they get hurt like deadlifting or squatting because I hate how strong they are and because I'm not as strong, and how dare they look so good and perform so well and I can't do it. Like why me? Why them? Why not me? And I wish them like genuine harm. And that energy, that evil eye, can actually cause a lot of harm, and people can even die from it. So, and I think even in the Christian theology, people say like knock on wood, right? When they say something that's good, they don't want to jinx it. And I think the whole point is this evil eye concept. I think it's the evil eye for this touch on wood thing, and I think it symbolizes touching the cross, I believe. I had a read about it like a few years ago, but I can't really remember the details. But the point is, I think that's where it comes from. So the evil eye is not only an Islamic concept, it's a concept in many different religions, and it's especially, I think, the Abrahamic religions because it's from God. And it's something that's very real. If you don't understand it, you might, again, get hurt by it and you would never know. I see a lot of people, they complain about, especially women, like losing hair. Their hair falls out even though there is literally nothing going on with them medically, and that could be that. Especially because women, Western women, for example, they don't cover up, like not non-Muslims, let's say, because some Western women are Muslims. They don't cover up, so everyone sees their beauty and they're just like, wow, she's so beautiful, she's so beautiful. She posts her pictures all over the internet, and then suddenly, boom, like she loses her hair out of the blue. Why? Evil eye, right? I'm gonna say like this is a personal story, but I like used to have really thick eyebrows, and I used to get a lot of comments on them, and then they started thinning out of the blue. Like I'm just only 26, so it doesn't really make sense. And a more accurate example is I used to post my pictures online of me going to the gym, like my pictures at the gym, things like that. And suddenly my health deteriorated so bad to the point where I was like not even able to eat half a sandwich. I would get so full. I was so tired I couldn't even get out of bed. I was so depressed. And then when I started healing through what we call in Arabic ruqya, so reading the Quran and making supplication and things like that, I went back to normal. So actually, because I'm a doctor, so I went and got my blood test done and all of that, and there was literally nothing wrong with me. But I was so weak to the point where I couldn't even lift like a big water bottle. That was so heavy for me, which is absolutely ridiculous. So that's the effect of the evil eye. And the evil eye not only affects your physicality, but it can also affect your emotional state. If you're always happy, for example, and you like post pictures about how happy you are and you're not seeking refuge in Allah from the evil eye, some people might be like, "Oh, this person is always happy. They're always smiling. They're so in love with their spouse and things like that." And suddenly your relationship breaks down with your loved ones and your partner, and suddenly you're depressed and you're sad, even though you used to be a very happy person. You know that. So the evil eye can affect you literally in every single way. It can even affect objects. So the evil eye can affect like a building, for example. Somebody like, "Oh, this building is so tall, so nice, whatever." The building just crumbles. So some people might say this is pure superstition and crazy stuff, but the people who know, I guess. So this is part of religion. This is part of Islam. So the evil eye. That's why Allah told us to seek refuge in Him from that. And yeah, so inshallah I'll make some videos to talk more about witchcraft and the evil eye, but this is going to be like a totally different vibe, a different energy than this. This is just explanation of the Quran. I'm taking it step by step, and inshallah I'll make a video after this for the next chapter. And the reason why I'm starting from the end of the Quran, not the beginning, because the chapters like at the end of the Quran get like they're shorter basically. The start of the Quran is longer, so it's easier to start from here. And even people when they memorize the Quran, they start memorizing it. They start from the end of the Quran usually. That's what I'm doing at the moment with my sheikh. So the guy that teaches me the Quran and how to read it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.